Okay.
Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to our podcast channel, Girl Talk Austin FC. I'm Josie,
I'm Jalen.
and today we have a guest speaker, Mr. Sebastian Martinez, who is a part-time worker at Austin FC. He also has another job. And we're just gonna ask him a couple questions, get a little insight into his world, and let's hop in. So, Jalen, do you want to ask him? Oh, wait, let's do a little intro. Jalen.
Okay. Uh, Sebastian, would you like to tell us about more about your position with Austin FC?
For
Just
sure. I've been I've been with Austin for I think three or 4 years now. So I've worked in a few different departments and a few different aspects of the stadium and the team. So I've been working in the ticketing department, been an usher, scanned tickets, even helped at the retail store. So I've been all over the stadium. So I've gotten to be able to enjoy a few different roles and learn a lot about Austin. And
That's
oh,
cool.
yes. I
You've
also,
done some ticket scanning, haven't you?
yeah, I have, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was for a festival, but it was cool to like doing that. I want to go like work at a Savannah Banana like ball game and be they call it a banana scanner and you like wear a
yeah,
banana suit. I want to do that. That sounds fun. So that'd be
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
I've actually worked Savannah Bananas games before because I was also a promotions intern at the Round Rock Express. I know that's not Austin
Oh,
FC,
cool.
but I've worked those games too as well on the promo side for them. So that was another cool
Oh,
That
experience.
sounds cool. I'd like to do that. That would be really cool.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Okay. So my first question for you is what was your strategy for the job search coming out of school? We're curious, like what really helped your application stand out?
I would say talking to everybody that you work with and be open to a lot of different roles and different things. And that's not something I'm just telling you guys. Like I've been told that from many different bosses at the stadium to VPs to any kind of level of management, even at this stadium. It's really about being open to trying to gain experience because sports is a competitive field to get into. And so being able to be open and open to experience new different departments and new things is going to be a really huge factor too. Because at the end of the day, it builds your experience and you're still learning a lot. And either way, we all have a lot of skills that, whether we believe it or not, are very transferable in all kinds of things when it comes to dealing with people or understanding, how to handle like the systems. Like right now, I have to use like the CRM systems to manage like ticket sales and the accounts for the different kinds of people. So it all really does translate because it's things that we all use still every day.
Would you say
I
that
would
you're,
say my go ahead.
wait, I think you just cut out there, right? No, I was going to
Oh,
say,
can
would
you
you
hear me?
say that like your experience at Round Rock Express like helped prepare you for your Austin FC job, or was it more like just two completely different jobs where you were like, I just need to get some experience, I need to get my foot in the door, like
It was a
something.
little bit of both. I mean, we have a similar department at Austin too, but I wanted to give another opportunity to something else because it really goes back to, being able to be open-minded and be open to learning new things. And the opportunity came with Round Rock. And I mean, for me, the dream's always going to be and has been Austin FC, but it's still within sports, and a lot of those things that I learned are still very transferable. I mean, we had to prepare promotions for different games. So like if the sponsor was Whataburger, Dell, we pretty much had to prepare all of the events and I guess the shout outs. Like we'd have to speak on the mics in front of the crowd, like what was going on. And there's a department just like that at Austin FC. So that's why I really need to lean into like the strategy of being open to like many different positions now because we at Austin have the exact same kind of job where you have to do similar roles. So it's really about being, I feel like, open-minded and willing to learn. And it's like, hey, if they ask me to be grounds crew, I mean, maybe you're not like, oh, this is the most appealing thing, but I've talked to a lot of coworkers and friends as well now too that they started off as grounds crew and now they've moved up even through several different teams and they've gotten into sports even that way. So
I feel like maybe
I
we
would
should have started with this question, but could you describe your like your job, like maybe like not a 9 to 5, but maybe like a like just a general description of what you do at Austin FC?
Mhm. Yeah, so main thing right now, what I have to do is I have to handle all the CRM accounts. So a big thing is Salesforce. We don't use Salesforce at Austin FC. We use a different one since our main ticketing partner is SeatGeek, and it's called, so we use a CRM that they have called SeatGeek Unity, and yeah, the CRM, customer relationship management. Like it's like a big platform where we essentially can see all of our current customers, current season ticket holders, who's buying tickets, who's selling tickets, and so essentially I have to manage when customers have issues or like discrepancies, whether it's like they order a ticket from somebody and they're waiting for either someone to accept it or what goes on within that. Like people come into and they're asking like I can't scan my ticket, for example, so we have to go into the accounts, figure out who the owner is, who sent it to them, those kind of things to try and help people get in and out of games, and then also make sure the tickets are being transferred correctly and moved correctly as well. We do also see like the balances and what people have to pay for tickets as well, so another part of it is making sure like all that kind of is taken care of as well, because yeah, it's buying a ticket is also important.
Yes, it is. Okay.
It's really cool.
And that's probably, I will say, that's definitely has been my favorite department. It's I'm still not, unfortunately, I'm still not full time with them, but this one was probably one of the harder departments that it took me to get into. It's a super small team. It's like 10 of us, including like my two
Oh,
managers that's above us. So it was it was an opportunity I didn't want to pass up, even if it wasn't the one I wanted. It was another direction and another opportunity to really get into more of like the sports business side of it and really understand how things work.
is full-time Austin FC like your end goal or wherever the Lord takes you?
I
Like
would lean more
where are
towards
you
where
on
the
that front?
Lord. I've heard a lot from, even the upper management, the VPs. They're super helpful, but also they're even quick to remind me like, hey, we know this is a dream, but we'll help you even whether it's another team, because even if we're just talking Major League Soccer, MLS, there's 30, 32 teams in the league. And so one big thing is like I've heard is don't limit yourself because there could be an opportunity waiting for you, on the other side. And not to say that Austin or another team is better per se, but it's still a good opportunity and you're still growing within the league. So um in my heart I want to go stay with Austin FC, but if the Lord guides me somewhere else, then
So
I'm
you're
guided somewhere
open
else.
to moving to like Seattle or somewhere.
Honestly, yeah, I would. I would take the opportunity. I mean, as much as I hate saying that, because I've even had that conversation with the managers there, and
Hmm.
you know they understand. They fully
Yeah.
encourage that and they support it too. I mean, not saying they don't want me around, but at the end of the day, sports is super competitive, and they're like, don't
Oh
limit
yeah.
yourself. You have the potential to try the experiences that are everywhere else too.
Hmm.
Okay. So what is the most rewarding project you've tackled in your role so far that made you feel like you were really contributing to the club's success?
Our team is pretty small right now, and I have to use like my Spanish a lot. I don't know if I guess you could say it's really rewarding because I'm one of the only ones well, the only one right now that speaks Spanish. So a lot of things when issues come up with fans or people with accounts and they're only, or prefer Spanish, I get called over to try to figure out the essentially the same problems, but it kind of adds a little bit of another level because I have to communicate with, the person I'm working with, and then I guess the customer, the people who's buying the ticket. So I guess it kind of adds another level of rewarding, just because if I would say almost not even, it's not like I don't think it's a niche, but it's a skill that I was fortunate enough to have, and so that's where it feels rewarding being able to use it, especially to support the team, especially when they need help in those situations.
Definitely.
I've been like, it's very interesting to me how many, okay, for example, for example, Jalen Morales, full Mexican, but does she speak Spanish?
I don't.
No, but do your
And
parents speak Spanish?
a little bit. Yeah. Mostly
Do
my
your
dad. My
grandparents
dad.
speak Spanish?
Yes.
But it didn't get passed down. And I've actually been talking to my roommate about this a lot, like because she is also Mexican and her parents speak Spanish, but does she? No. And then my old roommate doesn't speak Spanish. She's Mexican. Do her parents speak Spanish? Yes. So I've been finding it very interesting how Spanish is passed down through generations and how some parents are like, yes, I have to, and some are just like, it just kind of didn't fit with our life. And
For sure.
I think it's really cool that like because it helps you so much, right? Because you're like the only one that can connect with these other people that want to be a part of Austin FC, that want to go see the games, that want to join and be part of the fandom and everything. And without you, like how would they even be able, like, I mean, obviously, like, yes, English, but it just makes it so much easier. But I've always just found it so interesting as like why some parents don't teach their kids Spanish. Or like
Mhm.
even I met a girl here, her parents speak French, but she doesn't. And
Yeah.
it's just it's
No, yeah, it
interesting.
really does. Because at the job I have right now, a lot of people like customers assume I know Spanish, and I have to tell them like I don't. And I've like I'm like, man, I wish I did. And I tell my parents like, why didn't you, speak more Spanish around me? Because
Like that
it would
they
be
had every
helpful.
opportunity to.
Yeah.
For
Like I
sure.
wish my parents spoke another language because I would have been like, why didn't you teach me? Why didn't you teach me? I want to know.
But
Um,
we do have unique skill sets to some extent as well. Don't want to be like, oh, language this, you need to know it or not. I guess it's more of like a
right,
personal.
right. But I'm just saying, like, it is such an advantage, especially in today's world and especially in the business world where like you are the only one that can go out there and talk to those people. That gives you an advantage on the people that can't.
We
And
have a guy that can speak French. We have a guy that can speak German. So it's a really diverse team
like,
too. So I think that's also one of the things
Yeah.
that helps elevate that team as well. So it feels good when I can do my part, but I'm also not the only one doing it. Sometimes, especially when you're at soccer games, it's a very international sport, and so you're gonna have people coming from all over the world. We've had many people from England, like Sweden, like Ireland.
mhm.
So you're gonna hear like people talking in different languages, different accents. So it's definitely a little thing that's been enjoyable to kind of see also even with the team like interact, other people having to use like their language, their skill set, and it's really cool to an extent as well because I feel like it adds to the culture of the team.
It
Different
does, yeah.
people speak different languages, but they're still united, I guess you could say, under what Austin FC is, and that's really something like that they really push and that they love is they're super deep and involved in trying to get involved and connected with the community. So something they're always going to push is get involved, understand everybody, and try and bring a culture together, which is why I love being at Austin FC.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's great.
We had a great experience when we went there.
Hmm.
That general admission section is crazy. I was
Oh
not
yeah,
expecting that, but
They have so much energy, but
it was
it
loud
was
the
nice.
entire time. And everybody throwing water, I think that's so fun.
Yeah, and we
Like,
got
I've never been to a stadium that's done that before.
yeah, and we got to
really,
carry a flag. They were like passing the flag around. We are like, we want it, give it to us. So that
that's
was
We
awesome
fun.
almost got stuck with it, but we were able to pass it off.
Yeah.
Those
for
flags are
sure.
heavy.
Yep.
Yeah, they are. The
They're
cool part
heavy.
is like anywhere you go in the stadium, you'll probably get a little bit of a different experience, because that's the supporter section. Like I'm sure you guys were standing most of the game, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
those are the
Hmm.
the louder guys. So yeah, I feel like everywhere you go, you'll kind of see a little bit of a different, more environment of the stadium. I think they're all great, but it's cool to see how it kind of translate, because you have like the Lexus Club that's one side, and those are people who like they'll show up, they'll go into the food, the bar, they kind of have a different little almost like a little different mini experience of the game. So it's really cool how it translates into different experiences, but you're still at the end of the day there to watch and enjoy the game. So, and I think they've done a really good job of making every single experience wherever you are in the stadium super enjoyable.
Hmm. I just think the marketing has been pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Like just like some of the stuff that I've seen on Instagram where like you can tell that they are pushing like the culture, like getting out in the community and doing something, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I got invited to it was like the Austin FC like sports leadership summit. It was
Mm,
last week. And ended up going, and one of the speakers there, he was one of the art, I guess, directors for the department. So they were the ones talking about like how they handle the social media and kind of posting everything, and it was really cool to hear, especially like hearing them interact with the other like VPs from the other departments. They all work really well together. So it's a really unique way. But one thing they definitely emphasize is involvement in the community and the culture, which is something I love.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially.
Okay. What helped you understand how the sports business actually worked once you were inside it?
Mm. I feel there's several ways I could go with this question. I think I talked on it a little bit more, earlier, but it's get involved in every single way you can. It's really not just, scan tickets, go to your seat. And there's so much that goes, unseen behind everything. I mean, it comes to, unfortunately, when y'all were at the game, they didn't have this thing we called like a tifo, and they hold up this big art design, and so like planning has to go into that. Like they have local artists come in, they have volunteers that can come in, and at the end of the day, the Austin FC, like the employees, they're the ones who have to help manage and make that possible. So there's like so many little things like that going on behind the scenes that I feel like aren't seen, that it's really just about trying to get involved in any one of those, because I can definitely say all of those people that work at Austin FC, the VPs, the execs, they're all there. They're all at those events. We have community events. They have something called, I think, I forgot the name of it. I feel so bad for not knowing it. It's like oh, the 4ATX Foundation, and that's like the nonprofit organization that Austin FC owns, and they're super involved in that as well. Whether it's, they built like a pitch for I think it was like HT earlier, like so they build like fields around Austin. They donate food. They're at HEB, like they're handing out free groceries or paying for people's groceries, and so like a lot of that takes a lot of planning and a lot of moving parts to really organize. So I think it's just about getting involved in any way you can, because you never know who you're going to talk to. The chances are one of them is probably going to be there, and something that's I've seen, even not even just at Austin FC, but other jobs that people really care about too, is like the person. They ultimately care about the person that's doing the job and working for them. And so getting out there and just being involved in any way shows you have a true love and passion to want to be there. And so that ultimately like just starts bonding that relationship, and just honestly just be nice and talk to those people, because for me, like I see them all the time. I see them at the stadium, and it's not like I'm stopping them, every time I see them, and it's like, hey, give me this big, script of, what you're doing at Austin or what your day to day looks like. But it's really just like a simple like, hey, or, like let's grab some lunch, or, what have you been up to? And you really start learning a lot just from the conversations. You can tell how how well educated and knowledgeable these people are, especially within business and sports business, because it's definitely an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, that's some good advice.
Yeah.
Meet people, be personable. That's
Yes.
like what Dr. Samito, he says that a lot. Like a
Oh
He
lot, a
does.
yeah.
lot.
He
Yeah, like
does.
even
Yeah,
in class today, he was like, communication is all about who you know. You got to get out there, you got to be personable, like make an impression, but not like a bad impression, just like be yourself. But foot in the door. He's all
like it's
about
yeah.
that. And he's right. He's right.
Yeah, it's really trying out of your way to show that you want to be there or learn, because I mean, either way, at the end of it, whether it's, the job at Austin or the job at Houston Dynamo, wherever, you're still getting involved, you're still getting an experience, you're still learning, and ultimately that's going to transfer over. Like who's
Mhm.
just like, I don't see much of a difference from you doing it for Austin versus for Houston. You're still involved, you're still doing it, and it's still an experience, and you can still learn. Most of the time, those same people in all these positions, like they know each other, even from the other teams. Like I know staff from many other teams as well, just because like, we'll talk on LinkedIn, or we'll just get to know each other, or they'll come to the stadium. So it's a really like fluid and interchangeable, the field. Like if somebody knows somebody, and everybody knows everybody to an extent, and even if you don't, there's always going to be a lot of love shown, just because you're out there and trying to be around those people, because those people want the same thing ultimately at the end of the day. So
Yeah, awesome.
Okay. Next question. What experiences at UMHB helped you the most in getting where you are now?
experiences at UMHB, I would say, I guess there's a few, even just for me. I don't know if you guys play any sports, but like one just instant is being in soccer. It shows me, the day to day that goes on, and I don't mean like going to practice and playing. I mean, getting the jerseys ready, how the field gets set up, how the video, like the equipment gets set up,
Hmm.
how, the lines are going to be painted, or how the locker room looks, because those are things that people do have to do and still have to do, and even in this industry, and there's roles in a lot of positions even within that, in operations and match day like preparation, because that's a big thing. It's part of what goes into making games, where because games are where most people are going to attend. And I don't know people who are going to Austin FC practices and watching it. Like we know Austin FC mostly from, going to the games and seeing the experience. And so that's why I bring that up, because all those things still have to happen at Austin FC. They still have to prepare the cameras, they still have to prepare the promotions, even like even at UMHB, we've had, where games where it's like, oh, it's sponsored whatever, Whataburger, here's a coupon, or, stuff like that. That still happens. It's happened at the Express. It's happened at Austin. That's a department, getting the field ready. That's a department. The people who have to get the jerseys ready. Ultimately, the people who have to do all the media and marketing for the games, all those things, they really do connect. So I think it's about even getting involved in the sports teams, which is one thing I wish I did more while I was at UMHB. But I see how well UMHB does it, is that preparation and involvement within that, like athletics and like all the departments really coming together. And so I think that's something that UMHB does really well. And I would say I wish I got more of that experience, but I also see how good of an experience it is to just get involved, whether, whatever it is, because it really still teaches you a lot.
Yeah, we have what was your major at UMHB? Like business finance?
I
That was
was,
your major, right?
yeah,
So we're both, well, I'm a sport management major, but she's
And marketing.
and a sport management minor, but we
Yes.
both had to take a sport practicum class, which was where you spent like 3 weeks, which each of the four departments. So it was like event operations, videography, and what was the other one? What was the
Um,
other one?
oh, wait.
Equipment.
Yeah, equipment.
Equipment. And so like we got to like help set up first for me, like with Seth, like help set up the football field and the
yeah,
soccer stuff and
Wash a lot of dirty laundry.
wash a lot of dirty laundry
Fine.
with John.
Mhm.
And then I got to like do like volleyball highlights with Mr.
Sarah,
Twig.
or no. Oh,
No, mine was with Mr. Twig.
oh, okay.
Um, but like I've had a great experience. I really
Me
liked
too. I
it.
wish I could do it
Like
again,
I kind of want
honestly.
to do it. Like
Hmm.
I think that was cool.
no, those are
But
really good resume builders. Those are ultimately like experiences and things that you can still do and you can do every single day. I mean, unless I don't know about the clothes washing. I don't know how big a
yeah,
fan
I
y'all
mean
might be,
it was a good
but
free time
Yeah.
experience to go and watch some football jerseys, but
I think I'm good now.
I wouldn't want that to be my profession per se. But I'm not
no,
picky. Nobody's
yeah,
picky.
to each
Take
their
what you get, you know? So then
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I was gonna ask
Oh,
the our
one more.
last question.
Can I say one more thing about
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
the
Yes, go ahead.
I would say another big thing was too, honestly, one of the big experiences I got from UMHB too was, I guess, UMHB, but not directly UMHB, was also getting involved and staying involved in church. I mean, it really did help me also build this relationship even within like sports and the industry as well, because it helped me find this peace too, because there's definitely times where I'm like, why am I not in this role, or why am I not doing this, or I want to be doing this and I'm not, and so I feel like that's a big experience that I got from UMHB, and a lot of culture that really does help that aspect of it, because it's, sometimes it does get hard when you see people that are achieving, are getting this and there, but I think also coming to this spot of understanding your walk with the Lord and where He's guiding you really does play a big part, because it still kept, you know it's shown me different experiences that moved me forward. And I'd be lying if I'm sitting here saying, "Oh, I'm mad because I was an intern for the Express and now I'm working in the ticketing department," or So I think it's really just it was really about taking that experience from UMHB and being able to keep taking it into post college life.
Yeah, some good advice. Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Because
Okay.
if it was to me, I would have graduated and been in, that exact, in the finance department or wherever I was or wanted to be at Austin FC. But that's ultimately the Lord's plan, and so that definitely, yeah, it was a special moment too.
So then, last question. What does a normal work day look like during your off season or in season? Which y'all are in season now. When is the off season for Major League Soccer? Is it summer? No.
Right now, we're in this like weird gap because of like the World Cup. So we're doing like March, pretty much, no, February to June, mid-June, and then there's like a World Cup break for, there's not going to be any soccer play just because those games are going on, and we have people that are working with us that are volunteering or working at the World Cup. I'm still deciding if I want to do it because I kind of want to buy tickets, but that, yeah, we'll see about that one. But and then we come back in late July until like the end of October, November would be when playoffs and everything ends. And so
Okay.
that we have this weird little gap, but normally it would be February to that October, November gap. But next season, they're changing the calendar. Everything's going to be a lot different. So I know right now there's a lot of I guess you could say off-season work that's going on with, figuring out how games are going to be aligned, how tickets are going to be sold, because right now, next season, we're going to have this thing called a sprint season, and it's going to be like 2 months. I don't know if it's January to March or like February to March, April, because the new calendar is going to be the season starts in August and it'll go all the way through to the next year and it'll end in May. Because
Oh,
I guess they
wow.
want to get more, yeah, they want to get more aligned with, I guess, European soccer because they
Yeah.
have their calendar where the soccer is played like August, that time till the other side. And so they want to be able to be more aligned with the calendar. So there's a lot of work being done right now, at least on the strategy side to make all of that possible. Right now they're getting us more really involved in it as well with we're having to go to trainings and we don't have to go to trainings, but they're offering us like these extra trainings to help them out to get more involved with the alignment of the new season and the short season coming up. And it's really more about how to like really deep dive into the systems and the overall our system, which is the CRM system, which is SeatGeek Unity, just to be prepared for how the tickets may look, how the accounts are going to be, how customers are going to be purchasing tickets, and then the other thing is too like how tickets are going to be priced and how that's going to look if more games are going to happen then season ticket prices either could be more if there's less games for the sprint season. So there's a lot of back end stuff that's going on in the off season. In season, it's really about just using those skills and trying to stay consistent with them. Customer service is a huge one just because I feel like it prepares you for being able to communicate with everybody. So one thing they definitely emphasize is, being able to talk to people clearly, that make that eye contact with them and then be consistent with, what you're doing within the software that we use because you could make a mistake and switch people's tickets, or you could, put someone in a seat that's already been booked. So it's really in season, it's about paying attention to the little things that what they already show us in the off season and really be able to, I guess, honestly execute them is really, really our goal during in season and make sure the fans are enjoying it and following and enjoying the culture.
Nice. Yeah. Any
And I
question?
will say too, for I guess for the first question too, because you had asked me like what strategy for the job search coming out of school. I think I answered it, but I think there's more I could have answered as well. I think when it comes to resumes and because resumes are huge and obviously who you know too is important, but
Hmm.
use that you honestly we're in a spot where just use AI. Like use it to your help. There's ATS scanners, there's everything that goes through. There's a lot of people applying. Like so I would say use it to your advantage. You can make those resumes really have those same keywords and really line up. I would say obviously not to lie about what you're doing, but when you think about it and you sit down and you really digest even those experiences like you guys said, setting up with Seth, doing those things, those are experiences that you can very easily translate into those positions and those jobs. And I like using the AI to compare the words that are being said in the resume versus the application because then I can kind of try and balance out what how to kind of almost frame it in the way for that job, if that makes sense. Because that's a big one too. And I would say
Yes,
letters
that's
letters of
actually
recommendation.
very helpful.
Yeah, and it really does
Yeah.
help. It kind of lines you up a little bit because there's going to be a lot of applications too, and I've even been told like from a lot of the people that work at Austin, they're like keep that resume to one page. Like they told me they're like keep it to one page, and then it makes it a lot easier for the ones that are going through it too to also be able to just quickly understand you more. They're like we get a lot that the 2 3 pages and they've been there like respectfully we don't have time or nor want to really look at 2 to 3 pages when we have to look at hundreds of applications, especially with everything else you have to do on top of it because those jobs can open up and it's like for example the finance department, like the finance department asks has to get approved a budget for the year and like they have to go request it to ownership and ownership approves or doesn't approve, but like they could be asking for more to add a position. So like it really is that finance department who are the ones who are looking to add someone on their team. So I feel like that's why it's even more crucial to like really hone down on like the keywords that are in like the job description because those people are truly for the at least from what I've seen at Austin FC, like those are the people that are doing those kinds of I guess interviews and also seeing who they want to add to their team. Essentially it's like when you want to join a team, you want to make sure that you can fit in as well. So I think that's why it's really big to try and I guess not think ahead, but also, try and like strategize a little bit and think like how can
Like
my
give yourself the
experience
best chance.
yeah, like how can my experiences translate to this job, and then how can I translate my experiences to match this? And so I think that's a really big thing now. Unfortunately, I mean, I guess I say unfortunately, but so it's just it's just how it is, now,
Mm-hmm.
and so
World we
I
live
say
in, an AI world.
Yep.
yeah, so I
It
definitely
is.
say use it to your advantage. Even at my other job where I'm a broker, like we have an AI that helps me, book freight because I'm a freight broker, and so I have
Mhm.
to, make sure we don't lose money and make sure it's booked for the correct amount. I have to make sure all the amounts line up, it's correct. And so even then they've given us like an AI that helps us out with that too because it's really fast paced. So it's pretty cool. It helps us out a lot because the AI will literally reach out to a customer for us. Like it'll send emails like of the updates and information, that we in my role also struggle to it's a lot of things like you don't just have to send one email, you know what I mean? It's like email one, email two, you're like split screening to send multiple emails. So yeah, just really use AI, but use it, I guess, not correctly, but strategically.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it'll help, especially with those resumes.
Yeah, some good advice.
That is
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming on our little podcast. This was very beneficial for us, and I hope
yes. Thank you for all the
fun
good
for you.
advice.
No
A lot of good
problem, no problem.
advice.
If y'all ever do have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to, because
I
yeah,
will.
I'd be more than happy to help. And yeah, if y'all see too, tell them I said thank you for reaching out to you, and
Yes.
do it again anytime you guys need. I'd be more than happy to help out.
Well, thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
All right. See you later. Okay.
Yeah, thank
Bye.
you. Have a good
Bye.
Thank
one.
you.
Let me end this
Oh,
recording.
yes.